Yo guys, we're back with another video. We're gonna hop straight into it. This time Johnny Somali has a new crime, allegedly, so let's see.
What's up, everybody? So Johnny Somali has just been charged with another very serious crime. Now this info is coming to us from the channel Legal Mindset, so feel free to go check out his channel. The link is in the description. But I'm going
Also feel free to subscribe to 15 Minutes of Shame as well. Put his link in the description.
to show you the crime that he has been charged with. This is what it is, and I'm not going to say it out loud because YouTube has been demonetizing quite a bit of my videos, but you know that it's very serious. So on September 30th, 2024, Johnny created a huge public nuisance at Lotte World, eventually leading to him being kicked out and questioned by security. He's been charged and likely indicted in the Western District for this crime. However, what he did in line for the go-karts brings his crimes into an even darker and more severe territory. While approaching the line with his TTS ready to play on full blast, Johnny said, "For kids, what is this? Oh yeah, let's do it. It's a bunch of little kids, bro." So he knew very well what he was doing. His TTS speaker had been playing obscene stuff all day. So he knew that he was going to expose these kids to, inappropriate, weird, disgusting sounds. And whether it's words, there was sounds of monkeys going at it. It was absolutely disgusting. And he knew very well that it was going to happen, and he didn't care because he was getting paid for it, which makes it even worse in my opinion. Now, the law that he broke is called the Child Welfare Act, and Article 1 says...
That's crazy. That is crazy. What I don't understand why he stayed in Korea. He actually did what he did. And he stayed in Korea, which is already a very stupid thing to do. Him doing himself is stupid. But I think he actually might get jail. Before, when I seen the other videos, I'm thinking, yeah, he might not get jail time because X, Y, Z. Maybe not. Maybe a few times I was like, okay, maybe not gonna get jail time. But now I'm actually starting to believe he's gonna get some serious jail time.
Says the purpose of this act is to guarantee the welfare of children so that they can be born healthy and grow up happily and safely. Article 2 says, in all activities concerning children, the interest of children shall be considered amongst others. Article 17 is the prohibited act. No person shall engage in any of the following acts: having a child engage in lewd acts or arranging such acts, or committing harassment or abuse against a child that may make him or feel ashamed. So you guys see the words that I'm skipping just for YouTube. I explained to you why before, but yeah, this is some really disgusting stuff. All right, so there are several other updates to go through. Ramsey will most likely not have court on Wednesday because his public defender in the Western District has made a motion to delay the trial date set for April 9th, 2025. It was just a plea hearing. He was either going to plead guilty or not guilty. And usually these motions are granted when requested. So it's probably going to go up to late April or May. But this is not a bad thing whatsoever because the longer Johnny Somali stays in South Korea, the more broke he gets, the more demoralized he gets.
You know what? I'm going Korea again in August. I guarantee you by the time I'm there, in August, he won't even be finished. He's still going to be there.
Honestly, that is part of the punishment. The fact that he can't leave and just go cause havoc somewhere else, that is part of the punishment. So that's a good thing. Next, Ramsey has two real lawyers. Hank obviously is not a real lawyer. A public defender in the Western District and a paid lawyer in the Eastern District. The paid lawyer has been paid by Hank because basically he's Johnny Somali's sugar daddy. And on March 28th, they had a meeting with the paid lawyer. He's unregistered to work in the West, and he has no clue what's going on and had no idea about the deepfake incident. And it looks like he's an amateur because he didn't understand the concept of a merge case. Granted, that doesn't happen often in Korea, but if he was a seasoned attorney, he might know this already. It's also worth mentioning
if 50% off your first month at Pure Gym with no joining fee is the kind of motivation you need.
That's crazy though. It's basically saying, yeah, he's a paid lawyer, so he should be working harder, but I think that might not be the case because I think, you know what, it's 50-50. He might be working harder, and he might not be working. I can see him working harder because he wants to obviously boost, because when lawyers win cases and they get more popular. But if he loses the case at the same time, it's like they don't like him anyway. So
And Hank has been paying everything for Johnny, and now he has been partially cut off from his family, which apparently they do have a good amount of money, and that's why he's been begging for money. And he's also considered streaming, but he's not really interesting, so I doubt he would be able to pull in that many donations. Now, regarding the deepfake, it has already been sent to the prosecutors. It looks like the attorney was trying to reach out to her to get her to drop the charges, but it was too late.
내가 먼저 이야기할게. 지금 이스마엘 그 렌즈 있던 그 사람이 자국도 있잖아. 이게 우리 지금
Now, regarding who's handling the case, this is terrible for Johnny Somali because the person handling the case is the police superintendent of Women's and Juveniles Crimes Division, and she is the top dog. Basically, it's a superintendent where usually the cases are handled by mid-level sergeants. So this is an indication that they are taking this extremely seriously.
yo, he's done for. He is done. Like his. You know one thing about women, yeah. You see women. They, how do I explain this now? The one thing about women is that they would if they see another female and she's upset, crying, they're more compassionate and emotional because that's just the way they're wired. If it was a guy lawyer, a guy would also feel bad and compassionate towards a female, but because a guy wouldn't have been put in their shoes, they won't have the same level of compassion. So with a female lawyer, obviously she's gonna be professional and whatnot, but when she sees a young girl crying, etc., etc., she's gonna be like, you know what, this guy's actually a dickhead plus with everything else. So yeah, he's actually done for.
On the prosecution's end as well, this is one of the top 10 prosecutors in Korea that is handling Johnny's case. And Ramsey's terrified at the fact that she's a woman because he's extremely disgusting towards women. And Ramsey's lawyer mentioned how difficult it is to represent him because the cops hate him. Every time he's being investigated, he just pleads the fifth and he's continuously committing crimes. So they absolutely cannot stand him. When it comes to the deepfake, Johnny Somali doesn't think he'll do any prison time. And that is very far from the truth, because Legal Mindset was able to pull up a couple cases where this one dragged on for 2 years, first of all. So that would be 2 years that Ramsey would be stuck in South Korea. And those people got prison time even though they were cooperative with the prosecution and the police. So Johnny Somali has not been cooperative whatsoever. So it's safe to assume his sentence will be worse than theirs. Also, the deepfake charge appears to have multiple victims, a female victim and at least one male victim, if not more. There is a long discussion had on the deepfake law, which is very broad due to the fact that it takes into account audience embarrassment, meaning the audience was embarrassed. Disagreement with the law isn't a defense, and unlikely Supreme Court would overturn the law. And that's because Hank seems to think the law is
But
unconstitutional.
I'm so sorry, my cat keeps jumping on me and he's jumping off. Ah, yeah, she wants to play. That's why it was.
Constitutional, not that it matters anyways. You have to follow the laws unless they are changed in the Supreme Court, which Hank will not be able to do whatsoever. So Ramsey refers to the female as a bitch. There's no settlement with the female victim, and even if there was, it isn't a defense. And Ramsey's strategy was to blame and put pressure on the female victim in order to protect himself, and it's offensive to the prosecution. So he was mentioning how Bong Bong dropped the charges. Well, none of that matters because it's too late. It's already in the system now. It has already gone to the prosecutor's office. So
You know what it is? You know why I think she dropped them? I think she dropped them because I believe, obviously don't quote me on this, but I do believe she also showed it. So I think it's a thing in Korea where even if you make it, if both parties, if you show it, you're done for, and if the other party shows it, you're done for. You're both gonna get done for it. So I think she dropped it in the hope that Johnny would drop it, and I think Johnny dropped it or something like that, and she dropped it. But her one already got submitted and processed through before she had the chance to actually say no. So I think that's why stop it. So I think that's why is happening.
So he will have to stand trial for this. Now, very interesting about the watch, apparently it was given only because he had a restraining order against a Korean streamer young man. And now it doesn't matter because the guy's in jail for breaking one of the windows at the courthouse. So now Ramsey is not in need of protection from that Korean streamer. So he doesn't want to give the watch back, even though his lawyer told him to give it back. And now what he wants to do is to file another malicious restraining order against Yu Dalgun. That way he's able to keep the watch. Now, when we were saying that it's kind of weird that the police is protecting him, I guess it was the case because of that one specific restraining order. Now, it's very important to mention his war on free speech. Ramsey and Hank want to sue every streamer involved in covering his arrest and case either for assault or defamation. Hank wants warrants issued for legal mindset, but has failed to provide any actionable evidence, and his own lawyer called him out for this. And Johnny Somali is actively trying to brigade YouTube and X accounts maliciously. And that has happened to me. So he has filed a copyright strike about 2 weeks ago, and that one was accepted by YouTube, and it was overturned last Friday. And last Friday, he filed 3 more copyright strikes, this time using Hank's name. So he tried to take down 3 videos, and YouTube did not accept these strikes. They told him, no, we are not taking down these videos, which is a W for YouTube. But honestly, these strikes are such bullshit, and that just shows how these people are massive hypocrites. Whether it's Johnny Somali or Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit, they talk about free speech, but every time you criticize them, then they cry and they do a false copyright strike because you hurt their feelings. They are true haters of the First Amendment. And that's why in the interview, Johnny was saying, oh, you know, it doesn't matter if they make videos on me. I love it when the YouTubers make videos on me. Then why are you trying to take down those videos? Obviously, you are a filthy liar and you don't want to be exposed. And that's why he's constantly trying to take down my channel to get it terminated. Newsflash, it's not going to happen. Anyways, I need your help. Subscribe to the channel. Let's blow this up. On top of that, I have another video for you guys dropping in the next couple hours. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Because sometimes when you get too many copyright strikes, YouTube stops promoting your videos and the algorithm. It's very likely that you missed my previous 2 videos. One guy got arrested in the Philippines, one guy got arrested in India. You'll see the links on the screen right now if you haven't.
Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to me and him, both of us. And obviously, thank you for all the love and support you've been giving me in the previous videos. I'm trying to get 1K subscriber on my own channel. He's trying to get 100K, but getting to 60 because he's almost there. So make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.